You gotta love the pageantry of college football, and it's on display tonight, a homecoming Saturday for Kennesaw State as the Owls play host to the Skyhawks from UT Martin. Thanks for spending your college football Saturday with us. Nolan Alexander alongside the industry veteran and Stan Luter. This is a program that prides itself on effort, attitude, and toughness. And Kennesaw State needs that tonight against a Ragin' Cajun squad that is littered with veterans, and it all starts with their quarterback.
It sure.
The backdrop of this game is Kennesaw State's first head coach, Brian Bohannon, is no longer the head coach of the Owls. Sunday, it was announced that Chandler Burks, former co-offensive coordinator, would take over as the interim head coach for Kennesaw State. Burks is no stranger to the Owls. The youngest active head coach in the FBS now began his career as the first signee for Kennesaw State. Went on to a record-setting career with a couple of conference championships, then became an assistant coach for the Owls. And now he's tasked with guiding the Owls through their final 3 games. Caleb, you've known Chandler to be a leader. Thank you, Lauren. And there is Chandler Burks leading the team on the field and then going straight up to the press box. As Lauren told us, Tim Glanton, the game manager, the acting on-field head coach for Kennesaw State, you can give it any title you want here. The relationship between those two dates back to the high school days when Glanton coached Burks at South Paulding High School before the two came to Kennesaw State. And Chandler told us that Glanton said, "I've got drawers that are older than you, Chandler Burks. I've known you since you were pooping green," to quote what he said about Tim Glanton. I think that's a great move by Burks with the experience of Glanton as a successful high school head coach.
Absolutely.
Bryson fakes, throws, and it's intercepted. O'Shea Baker with the pick, and he's eyeing the end zone. O'Shea Baker takes it back for Tennessee Martin. 7th career interception for the preseason All-American, and the Skyhawks go back on top. This the 10th play of the drive on a 3rd and goal. Owls look for their second upset win of the season on their home field. On 3rd down, it's Bryson throwing for the end zone. It's caught for a touchdown. The tight end, Carson Kent. Gotta have it drive. The Owls have showed resolve all week, and they do it when the game's on the line. Bryson to Kent, and an extra point to tie.
Good time for a fake, maybe?
Ulrich looks to throw, has Bohannon in stride. Bohannon picks up the first down. Is set to return for Kennesaw State, and they run the fake. Slips a tackle in the backfield. FIU with a fake punt across the 50, across the 40, inside the 30, and out of bounds at the 20-yard line. Ross Fournay, the junior out of Windermere, Florida, with a momentum-changing play for FIU. First down, quick pass, intercepted on the far side of the field. Javen Williams with the pick, and Williams takes it in. 4th touch for Binyard today. 2nd and 2, run the reverse, the pitch back on the flea flicker, out to Kent with a catch, and Kent's knocked down at the 20. From the 25, on a 3rd down, Watson slips out of a sack. Watson's got a first down, Watson inside the 5, and he scores for the Bearcats. Hunter Watson on 3rd down feels the pressure, escapes up the chute, and gives Sam Houston State its first lead of the day. This would be a 49-yarder. A new long for Welch, who's perfect on the year. Snap, hold is down, the kick by Welch. Count it! Austin Welch at the horn remains perfect on the season and ties the ball game at 10. 2nd and 10. 3-man rush. Jenkins throws to the far side of the field, and Kennesaw State ices it with an interception by Jericho Washington. Ashley and No Pierre, two of the best in the nation. And they kick it off to Ashley from inside the 5. Reaches the 20. And he's tripped up and loses the football at the 25-yard line. FIU punched it loose, and the Panthers, after a field goal to open up the third quarter, may have just come up with the football. Watson, quarterback sweep to the left side. Watson with a block inside the 5, goes for the pylon, and Sam Houston wins it in overtime. Kennesaw State with Sidney Porter defensively. He's been one of the captains on defense this year. Tonight, moving to a new position from safety to this outside backer position. And he's been all over the field. 7 tackles, 1.5 TFLs. He's been in Dent's face numerous times. Kirby Smart, you know him, the head coach of Georgia. Former DB for the Bulldogs. Brent Key down the road in the flats. That's him hugging one of his linemen after a win last week against Miami. And Chandler Burks. What's in common? They're all coaching their alma maters now as head coaches, Caleb. Welcome back to Conference USA football. Quay Ashley and Sequan No-Pierre atop the nation and kickoff return average. No-Pierre leads the FBS. Ashley, because of Kennesaw State's second-year transition to the FBS, is ineligible in the statistical rankings. However, his yardage is better. He's housed 2 this year. And as we talked about in the open, don't let these records fool you. They're stars of the field. There's some unique stats between the two teams. Ashley and No-Pierre, two of the best in the nation. And they kick it off to Ashley from inside the 5. Reaches the 20. And he's tripped up and loses the football at the 25-yard line. FIU punched it loose, and the Panthers, after a field goal to open up the third quarter, may have just come up with the football. Quite a story for Casey Keeler, the program builder. Last year, Sam Houston started 0-8. And what Kennesaw State is, its second year of its transition to FBS. They were down 21-7 to Kennesaw State at Bauer Stadium at halftime. They came back to win. Ended up winning 3 games last year, what Casey Keeler said, in my 30-plus years of coaching, the most difficult 2 years that I've ever faced. Well, you see there, they made history. They've won 10 of their last 13 games. Tennessee Martin with a pick 6 of its own after allowing one in the opening half. O'Shea Baker puts the Skyhawks on top. Enter tonight a preseason All-American, All-Conference performer, the career record holder in pass breakups. Well, that time he did more than just break it up. He housed it for the Skyhawks.
Took it to the house.
FIU missed a short field goal in its first drive. Look at the football, though, Caleb. Where are those laces?
That's what we call a business decision. He knew he could have picked up some more yards there, but probably not good for business.
Who's had season-ending injuries before. Had a foot injury in his third start last year at UAB. Smart decision there as Brian Bohannon looks on. And should Kennesaw State choose to go down the field in a 2-minute type of offense, sometimes this is where offenses feel most comfortable. It's those basic plays that you rep over and over and you have down pat.
When you get your playmakers the ball in space like we've talked about, you relax, you use your timeout.
A look at the numbers for the veteran out of Mississippi, an Ole Miss transfer, Kincaid Dent. Take away that pick 6. He's been very solid for the Skyhawks tonight.
Really has. Mixed it up a little bit with his legs, known as a thrower. Decision time here on 3rd down.
You say mixed up with his legs. He's already picked up a first down on a 3rd and short with a quarterback run. Do they go back to it here?
I think you get the ball to Smith either between the tackles or outside if you can.
And that's what they do, handing it off to Smith. And Smith is tackled by Walker, but he has a first down to the 40.
Credit to the O-line there.
And that's behind the true freshman center, Jacob Norcross. Over 600 snaps this season, the most of any true freshman center in the FBS. FIU missed a short field goal in its first drive. Look at the football, though, Caleb. Where are those laces?
And made a really good play there.
That goes down as a plus in film review, right, Caleb?
That's
Former
exactly
receiver.
right. I wouldn't be surprised if they like to take a shot here as they get closer to midfield where they're more in no man's land, where they got to get the first down or potentially would have to punt.
That's what the OC Brad Cornelson said. We need to be more aggressive and
Give our defense an opportunity to continue with what they've been doing all day.
And that's the coaching point from Burks this week. You're exactly right. He said never sacrifice your mechanics to rush and get anything out.
That lets you get 3 yards instead of none.
And that's what Chandler Burks, the co-offensive coordinator, said. That's the key to explosive plays. It all starts out, can you establish the run?
Great job by 73 getting on the linebacker there, opening up that hole.
Jacob Kettles, the transfer from Montana State.
He probably knows what kind of deodorant he wears with how much they've been together at the bottom of a pile, or even just alone in open field.
Old school player Miles, spicy box score, 5 tackles, a sack, 2 quarterback hurries.
And your quarterback has to stand in his own end zone.
I think a lot of it too, Caleb, and I question it at times too, but I think a lot of it is they don't practice on our centers, so you throw in that different variable there and you're afraid of chaos happening.
Correct.
Play fake, Watson out of his own end zone, able to slide through. Garland Binyard, the Owl linebacker, tackles him around the 10. To your point, Caleb, that was dangerous for Watson.
Incredibly dangerous.
For this first quarter.
Thank you, Lauren. And Harris told us in our production call, Caleb, they're going to need to change the math. They want to pressure, but do it in a different way.
That's right, Nolan. And
thank you, Maria. They told us in the summer, 7 a.m. every day, he is in there watching film. I mean, talk about a young man who's dedicated to the craft. That's Ben Woldridge. Louisiana has experience aplenty at quarterback. Ben Woldridge, the starter this year, beat out Chandler Fields in a tight battle. The starting QB job in preseason camp. Both have replaced each other due to season-ending injuries. It's been an interesting journey for these two. For more, let's visit with Maria Martin.
Off the field. Nolan?
Thank you, Jade. And speaking of having your teammates back, that's exactly what the other 10 Owls did to Michael Benefield in that rush.
Works at the rink. He loves being there. He can also get into the end zone, guys.
Yeah, Preston Daniels on rollerblades, the smoothest 5'11", 250. Handoff, Benefield, and he scores for the 4th straight game on the ground. Kennesaw State capitalizes on the Washington interception and punches it in for the senior Michael Benefield. Handoff, McKinney in the backfield, Adam Watkins on the stop for Kennesaw State. Watkins learned a lot more playing time today with Walker and Scott out. Leads the Owls 3rd in Conference USA amongst interior linemen with an 82 Pro Football Focus grade against the run. But Sam Houston continues its march here. 2nd and 6 for the Cats. Wallace in motion, and they hand it off to Ashley, who's stuffed in the backfield. Tennessee Martin with a huge TFL. Jalen Sharp, who the coaches think could become a coach one day due to his high football IQ, forces a 3rd and long. A 3rd and goal now for Kennesaw State. The handoff to Preston Daniels, and the big man is in the end zone for a touchdown. Daniels scores for the 3rd time this season and gives Kennesaw State a 10-point advantage at home on Senior Day for one of the Owls' longtime standouts, the 5th-year senior out of Sandersville, Georgia. Bryson on a draw, jukes to the left, and Bryson's taken down to the line of scrimmage. Excellent footwork by the all-everything linebacker Travion Barnes, 3rd in the FBS, averaging 12 tackles a ball game. That's exactly what he does, Caleb.
Turnovers, execution.
There goes Patrick Smith down the left sideline. Inside the 30 to the 15, and Smith has a 1st and goal for Tennessee Martin on its longest play of the ball game. And Louisiana brings it out. Zylan Perry led the FBS in kick return yards last year. Perry down the right sideline tries the hurdle. Back at Fifth Third Stadium, Nolan Alexander, Caleb O'Neill, and Maria Martin with you. And the 4th member of our team, Billy Joel. We didn't start the fire. 2 sirens have gone off here at Fifth Third Stadium as the Owls have marched down the field. You see the blinking fire alarm. We have not been briefed of anyone in danger right now or any active fires. We'll continue to monitor the situation here. As play continues for the Owls, they burn their first timeout to avoid a delay of game. Looking to score in the end zone for the first time today. Austin Welch with a field goal in the opening drive. Bryson hands it off to Quay Ashley. Nothing there for Ashley. The defense collapses for FIU with a good play by Giovanni Davis swinging down.
And Davis just did his job there, Nolan. Did a great job of setting the edge at his defensive end position, squeezing and making the tackle.
Second quarter has not been kind to Kennesaw State this season, but hoping to buck the trend here. On a second and long, it's Bryson with a quick pass on the edge. And the freshman, Jaden Robinson, still in bounds and then finally shoved out of bounds near the 6.
Great grab right there by the freshman. Catch the ball, get upfield, make a play. Didn't go down. Trying to make his way here at Kennesaw State. Make a good statement there by his toughness.
A fellow Floridian. Opposite the Panthers, Robinson out of Santa Rosa Beach in the Panhandle has his 10th snag of the season. And Bryson's been efficient at quarterback, now 6 of 8 passing for 62 yards. And the Owls have a 1st and goal at the 5-yard line. Bryson, keeper left side with a hole, and he hops in the end zone. Touchdown, Kennesaw State. Davis Bryson on a keeper to the left side. And the Owls lead by 2 scores here in the second.
Interim head coach, Coach Burks, told us this week that Bryson loves the tight end or the defensive end read right there, where he can read the D end, see him squeeze, pull the ball, give it if he doesn't squeeze, and he read it perfectly there and ended in the end zone.
3rd rushing score of 2024 for the redshirt sophomore out of Woodbridge, Virginia. Welch looking to add to the Owls' lead. Laces out, extra point is good. 10-0 Kennesaw State on a 9-play, 82-yard drive that chews up almost 5 minutes off the clock. Bryson calls his own number. Swiftly around the corner, and the Owls put a 10 spot up here in the second. Number 9, Davis Bryson, quarterback for the Owls, extends the lead 10-0 for Kennesaw State. You look at their season numbers right there and some of the lowest quadrants for the Owls overall. However, it's been a shift, a positive shift for this offense in the second half of the season, led by Bryson, who just scored on the ground for the 3rd time this year.
And I feel like I mentioned it earlier, Nolan. Davis Bryson is the catalyst to this offense. When he gets his legs involved, throws the ball downfield, it really energizes and powers this offense down the field. And credit to the running backs as well, Ashley and Benefield. They both open up those lanes and allow him to pull the ball and give the offense more opportunities as they break these longer runs as the season goes.
On that drive, Bryson was 5 of 5 passing for 69 yards. You saw the total passing numbers. Bryson today 6 of 8 for 72. And I think you bring up a good point, because Bryson's 3 rushing touchdowns have all come here in the second half of the season. It's been the emergence of Ashley and Benefield that have had more holes up front, so you credit the offensive line. And again, it goes back to things that even Burks, the interim head coach, as well as his co-offensive coordinator Stuart Cook, told us. And these close losses, it's like these little things that just creep up and bite you at the end. It's gotten better for KSU as the season's gone on. Jenkins, under duress, scrambling out, dumps it off to his tailback. Lyons hits the pause, and he spins forward across the 30-yard line. A fire drill for FIU that ends up being a good gain on 1st down.
And we've seen it all season. Jenkins' elusiveness, his intuitiveness to see the running back leak out. They had the running back in a max protect to try to push the ball downfield. Running back leaks out. He's under pressure. He sees him leak, gives him a nice touch pass that he can handle, and let your guy make a play.
Jenkins sacked once today, coming into this ballgame just 14 times as he completes it to Rivers, and Rivers picks up a 1st down, but a flag down on the play. The 14, the lowest in Conference USA, and a big reason why is the elusiveness of Jenkins. But this one could be coming back against the Panthers.
Illegal formation. Offense, 5 players in the backfield. 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
Caleb, that's back-to-back weeks that we've seen an offense called for too many or not enough men on the line of scrimmage.
And with today's age and offense, and you can see it there on the edge, it looks like right there on the Conference USA logo, both of those men didn't have their shoulders. Your helmet has to be at the hip or in front of the center to be considered on the line of scrimmage if you were attached to the box, which is just the tackles, in between the offensive tackles. And it looks like they weren't far enough up on the line to be considered on the ball. But in today's offense, you have a lot of people changing on and off the ball, and sometimes it just comes down to pre-snap communication.
Keyshawn Owens bounces to the outside and makes it a 3rd and short for the Panthers.
And that move he just made to get outside is one of the things that I feel separates a lot of the really good and great running backs from just your everyday status quo running back. They had him dead to rights, the Owls defense did. He made that slide step, jump cut, made 2 tacklers miss, got to the edge, and got them in position for a 3rd and short.
FIU does not want to give the ball back to Kennesaw State. The pass is complete, but it's short of the marker. And FIU falls to 2 of 5 on 3rd downs, has not picked up a 1st down through the air as the running back Flex Joseph gets maybe a yard on the play. 4th and 2 now.
And you can tell he wanted to get that 1st down, Nolan. He was a great awareness to stop at the sideline to try to get back and get upfield, but unfortunately his toes hit the chalk.
Montiel to punt, and Binyard, who already has a big rush and a long reception today, is set to return for Kennesaw State, and they run the fake. Slips a tackle in the backfield. FIU with a fake punt across the 50, across the 40, inside the 30, and out of bounds at the 20-yard line. Ross Fournay, the junior out of Windermere, Florida, with a momentum-changing play for FIU.
And Nolan, we talked about it earlier, no man's land. They shifted early, went with the direct snap. Great fake by the punter, and great speed there as he goes down the sideline, makes a couple guys miss, and almost breaks it all the way for a touchdown.
79, Quaylen Hill, the redshirt junior, 5'11", 317 out of Kissimmee, with a great block to help spring Fournay for a 1st down for FIU. New life for the Panthers here in the 2nd quarter, trying to put a dent on the scoreboard. They're inside KSU's red zone at the 18. Rivers in motion, play fake. Jenkins rolling out, has a man wide open. Rivers with the catch. Touchdown, FIU.
And Rivers just leaked out, crept down the field, took it slow. He was patient, and as soon as he saw the safety commit, he just turned over his left shoulder, ran to open grass, and Jenkins just taking candy from a baby there, wide open at the edge, at the end zone.
And with that, Eric Rivers now holds the FIU single-season record for touchdowns. That's his 10th of the season, breaking a tie from 2021 with Tyrese Chambers. PAT, no good! Oh, kicking woes for the Panthers here in Kennesaw. Fake punt, a beauty for McIntyre's Panthers. Rivers with a record-setting touchdown. FIU misses the extra point, down by 4.